All right, what's everybody? What's everybody doing right now? Because we're trying to log into a laptop, and it took us 10 minutes to log in. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a YouTube Live. We are going to do some really cool shit right now, and got some good stuff to share with you guys. Going to take some Q&As from you guys live here on the spot, and Leighton and I also want to make sure that we share some content with you guys. Content that's going to benefit you, fulfill you, and put you in a place of higher levels of growth. So you ready to get started, El?
I'm ready to go.
All right.
Ready to go. So first off,
Yeah.
before let me start it off like this. Let me kick it off right. So we wanted to wait for your authentic reaction on camera before we showed you this. But look what somebody from Legacy Tribe. So shout out to Legacy Tribe, and obviously you're gonna talk about that right now. But look what somebody created in the chat.
Shit.
And I wish we could find a way to show it on the screen.
Dude, that is so good. That is like scary, but that is so good. Stop being a passenger in the car of your life.
Yeah.
And then, guys, I'll describe it to you. And in fact, those of you, can we drop this picture into the chat, I wonder?
Will they be able to see if we show the camera? Probably not, right?
But I don't know if y'all can see it here, but it's like this fat, overweight, sloppy, everything that I describe on every episode, dude who's milkable, sitting on a couch with a giant bowl of Cheetos next to him, and his belly button and the surroundings are full of Cheeto dust. That is nasty. So after an entire 12 months of the BK show, this has become the culmination of what my show's about.
It's a thing now.
Yeah, dudes that you can milk with Cheeto dust in their belly button. And you can't even, you can tell he's naked, but there's no penis because it's inverted. It's gone inward. It's gone inward. By the way, can I share something with you guys? Dude, did you know, true, for real, this is no joke. Oh, wait, I think you can see it.
Can you see it?
Yeah, because I was looking at it on
With
the
the light,
screen.
you can kind of see a little bit. Hopefully you guys saw it. But anyways.
All right, so
very
check this
well
out. My father-in-law, he's a doctor. And one day I was telling him about my just dissatisfaction of massively obese men because they're a liability to their own life. They're a liability to everyone around them. And he goes, well, just so you know, it's not just a liability factor. It's not just a health factor. He goes, as men get fatter, they begin to release more estrogen and they suppress their testosterone. And he says the fatter they get, the more their penis inverts, like goes inward, for real. Like, yeah, this is like no joke. I know I'm always talking like making dick jokes left and right, which for that alone, I got to go back to Kevin and seek therapy because I clearly have some dysfunction. But apparently their dick inverts, the estrogen and the lack of testosterone and then all that fat that just starts surrounding their penis. And he says he's got 2 patients, when they need to go pee, they can't find and reach their junk to stand over the toilet. So they go stand in the bathtub and just, yeah, I know, that's the face I had, El. They just pee themselves and then rinse off. And so he's got them on a diet, but he's like, man, it's hard to get them to lose weight. Even with that, they're just like, dude, I don't know. Isn't that fucked up? Yeah.
So when he says it's hard for them to lose weight, it's like mentally they're not willing to make the adjustments.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a health issue. It's like
at that point, it's a psychological issue. I think when someone is massively morbidly obese, there's psychological trauma. Could be sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse from the past. It could be some kind of story that they're telling themselves that they don't want to be seen. They're almost punishing themselves. Because look, we can all kind of let ourselves go and gain 10, 15 pounds, fluctuate here and there, right?
Yeah.
Matt Aspute, project graduate, class 1.
His birthday over the BK Live, right?
That's right.
Right? Yeah.
So he's got a good saying. He goes, bro, I'm always 2 weeks away from having abs. He goes, I always make sure I'm always 2 weeks away from having abs. Like if you call me and we're like, hey, there's a photo shoot in 2 weeks, he goes, I can diet down really hard and have abs for that photo shoot in 2 weeks. And so that's like that 10 or 15 pounds that a man might carry extra. But someone who's carrying 60, 70, 80, 100 plus pounds where your shit's inverting now, right? And you're standing in the bathtub to take a pee, that's mental. That's a mental issue, man. That's not, I don't know my macros. Like, you got to deal with that shit with the therapist, overcome your shit, and then start becoming the man that you admire.
Right. But then also, too, giving them, letting them know that there's hope. Like, it's not like you're hopeless and you can't do the work. You absolutely can.
Always hope.
I think a lot of people think they're just, like, it's impossible, I give up. They accept it. And they're like that forever because of that.
Yeah, that's the thing people forget, man. They forget that as long as there's breath in my lungs and there's a beat in my heart, there's always hope. It might be a massive battle to win, but who cares? What else do I have to do? Life is supposed to be an adventure to have and battles to fight. That's what life is. And Eldridge talks about it in his book, John Eldridge. And so, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's always hope. So speaking of Legacy Tribe, guys, last weekend, literally a week ago today, we had BK Live, a massive sellout audience in Costa Mesa at the Westin. And guys, it was such an awesome event. I got to meet so many of you who watch the show, who interact with us, and y'all came out. And we had 2 days of good times. We had so many great speakers, from Mike Rashid to 7-time Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath, Jason Redman, retired Navy SEAL, New York Times bestseller, Bryce Henson, the CEO of our Fit Body Bootcamp brand. Just great speakers. Sean Stevenson. I always talk about Sean Stevenson in his book, Eat Smarter and Sleep Smarter. You know, he's one of those guys who can take science and he can dumb it down for the rest of us, where it's like, okay, that makes sense. This is why I need to sleep this way and eat that way and drink water this way.
He's one of my favorite guys, too.
Yeah,
Makes it seem simple.
Very cerebral guy. And so there at BK Live, I was excited about this, and I haven't shared this with anyone, but at BK Live, I launched a new coaching program. And that coaching program, believe it or not, was a byproduct of this BK show. And, you know, on the BK show, I talked to you guys about my coaching clients who pay me $100,000 for a year of coaching. That's called the Domination Year Coaching Program. And I've got some amazing coaching clients in it. That coaching program is always full. I have about 50 clients in it at any given time. We always have a waiting list. But, you know, oftentimes we always hear in the comments, well, I wish I could coach with you. I wish I can get mentoring from you, but I can't afford the $100,000 right now. And so for the last 6 months, man, you know, that had been kind of haunting me. Like, what if I can help? What if I can help people? What if I can help people on a mass level without charging $100,000 and just do it differently? Instead of one-on-one, I could do it in a massive group environment, right? Because we all have similar goals: to have more money, to have and create more meaning, and have self-mastery in our life, to become that 2.0 version. So at BK Live, we launched the Legacy Tribe. And the Legacy Tribe is a coaching and mentorship program with myself and Jason Redman, retired Navy SEAL, New York Times bestselling author, and one of the best entrepreneurs and leaders that I know, my CEO, Bryce Henson. And the three of us, every week, will be coaching you guys up via live Zooms. We have a private community, and we've got a vault of content and education center specifically for Legacy Tribe members. And then on the fourth week of every month, we're bringing in a guest from my network, some big names that you guys have heard of, that you guys follow on social media. And so we're going to give you access to them. And then I felt like it'd be really cool to also do something once a year in person. So anyone who's a part of the Legacy Tribe also gets to come to my ranch in Temecula once a year. In fact, we already set the date. I think it's March 2nd.
Yeah, coming up, yeah.
Yep, on March 2nd, we get to do a real in-person live meetup. And here's the coolest thing about it. This Legacy Tribe coaching program is literally $8.30 a day. I think most of us probably spend $8.30 a day at Starbucks.
Right.
And so you could find $8.30 a day to cut out from your life and put towards a coaching and mentorship program that is like none other. It's not going to be any watered down information. It's live coaching every week, Q&As after the coaching sessions where you guys can ask Q&As, a community that we've built, the education vault that we've built and we're adding to every month, and of course the live in-person meetups at my ranch. And so Andrew just dropped a link in here. It's bedroskeuilian.com/legacy tribe. Here is the bad news. The bad news is tonight at midnight, it closes, right?
That quick.
Yeah, registration closes tonight at midnight. We've got over 250 members now in the group. My goal is to get 1,000 members in this group over the next 12 months. And so it will reopen in the future. And when we do reopen it, it will sell for a higher price point. So it's $249 a month right now with a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. bedroskeuilian.com/legacy tribe. You guys are all invited. Highly recommend it. This is the best gift that I can give you, to have access to me, get mentorship and coaching from me, and then to be able to, for all of us to connect once a year at my ranch. And then, of course, if you guys want to come to the next year's Bedros Keuilian live event, then that would put us together twice a year in person, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's that, man. And we've got a great group there.
Awesome. And one thing I wanted to touch on too, man, was what I was thinking about it, and it's not just the like value they're getting from you guys, but it's also like there's so many people last week at BK Live that I was just kind of asking, like, how are you guys enjoying the event? What's your favorite part so far? You know, are you liking it, right? And they're saying they're one of their favorite parts. A lot of people were saying were just, I like being around these people. Like they feel like my people, like my tribe.
Yeah, you're trying exactly. So you find your people. You're like, holy shit! Like you can smell out who your people are. You're like, you're like me.
Exactly, because at home they might not get the same support. Maybe they're in entrepreneurship. Maybe they're into whatever they're into. But those people are not motivated. They're not that. They're just not in that stage yet.
Yeah.
So when you come to an event like this, everyone's motivated and excited, and they want to help you out and network, and it's just good energy. So. You're not just paying for to be coached by you and these other people, but also to be around like people like this and find your tribe and then help you elevate even faster. So, anyways, a lot of people enjoyed that last week for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Cool. We get some questions.
Yeah, let's go to some questions. And by the way, those of you who are going to do the super chats, the super chats, we always try and answer first, and that's because you're donating money, and you're not donating money to me. When you do a super chat, however much you pay for that super chat, I double. And then we donate that money to Shriners Children's Hospital, which are a network of hospitals across the country, 22 of them currently. And I've been donating to Shriners Children's Hospital since 2007. And these 22 hospitals provide medical services, procedures, surgeries for children whose families, parents are poor and they can't afford those medical surgeries. And it's all paid for by private donators like us.
Right.
And so when you do a super chat, that money goes to Shriners, and I double it, and then we donate it, or Joan, my assistant, donates it soon after the live here is over. So with that said, let's dive into some questions.
Awesome. Cool, man. So the first one I saw is King J. Sean. He says, work my ass off to get where I am professionally, 13 years plus, but do rotating swing shift, which interferes with lifestyle and consistency. He just asked for advice for that.
Yeah, so he's doing a rotating swing shift, and anytime you're rotating your schedule, you don't have the key word that he said, which is consistency, right? And so you got to understand that what you're doing now as a vocation, as a career, as a job does not mean that's what you need to be doing the rest of your life. So I know cops, I have plenty of friends who are cops who love being a cop up until about late 2020, early 2021, where the defund the police thing became a thing. And now they're like, dude, we're under attack. We're being scrutinized. Yes, there's maybe 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever the bad cop rate is, but majority are decent humans that will take a bullet for any one of us. And so they were like, man, I thought I was going to be a cop the rest of my life, B. And now I realize I need to change vocations. And so whenever I talk to them and they go, what do? I go, well, figure out where else you can make the same amount of money or more that you have a passion in. And find, because we're not just passionate about one thing. Like, I don't know what this guy's swing shift is, what he does for a living, whether it's a warehouse, whether he's in the medical industry, maybe he's as a nurse or something. And whatever it is, there's other passions that you have, right? Figure out what thing you're passionate about, get so good at, figure out what jobs and vocations and careers exist in that area of passion, and be so good that you can eventually quit this job and go get one that is consistent. Better yet, maybe you want to be an entrepreneur. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, do some research on YouTube. Come to a workshop that I do. If you want to be a coach or mentor, come and go. There's like drop shipping courses. There's affiliate marketing courses. There are things that you could do from home and be your own boss and make $8,000, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 a month, a really good living, equivalent to a really good job, a good salary, but you're your own boss. So what he needs to do is he needs to draw a line in the sand. And what I would tell our friend here is give yourself, say in 6 months, I'm going to be putting in my resignation. Because once you mentally have the date, 6 months from now, your brain starts looking for solutions and you will find the answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting thing too, I just thought about this when you were giving your answer right now, is that people will bust their ass, man, work hard, swing shift, 12 hours this now for somebody else, but they won't always do that for themselves in their own business. And I get it. When you work your job and you make the money, then you come home, you're tired, maybe you have other responsibilities, so they don't have the energy to do it. But like, man, if you can just find the energy and the discipline to just carve out time and make it happen, I mean, you could be making that kind of money or more.
Well, you were
on
doing
your own
it.
Dime.
You were doing it as a married man with 2 kids. You were working at, what was that suit store called?
Men's Warehouse.
Men's Warehouse. and creating content and coaching people, like coaching young men, like you were doing it. It's just a matter of structuring your time.
Right.
Because make no mistake, yeah, you come home tired, but you're probably watching TV or some network series thing or some sports, fucking football, baseball, basketball. You don't own that sports team anyway, right? We've talked about this before. Carve out all that trivial time that you're wasting time watching TV, playing video games, doing whatever, and go, hey man, what if I could dedicate that to creating some content after work, maybe launching a little coaching business that makes me an additional $3-4 grand a month. And if I could, over a period of time, grow that to compete with my personal income, I could actually quit my job that I dislike and maybe do this full time.
Right.
Like, it doesn't have to be like quit one and go all in on the other. You could kind of phase into it. And you did it, married, 2 kids, now you've got a 3rd one on the way, working at Men's Warehouse, and still creating content and launching a coaching business. And so, you know, like, if one man can do it, any man can do it. Roger Bannister being a great example. He broke the 4-minute mile. Up until then, everyone thought no one could run a mile in under 4 minutes. He did it. Within 12 months, 1,300 other people broke that record.
It's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Seeing is believing.
So it could be done, man. It could be done. We got a super chat from Dennis. I think you say Voronin is his last name. He says, if you were to start again, would you still start a personal brand? Everybody gets hated on no matter what you do. How do you not let it affect you?
No, that's a good question. You just don't let it. You have to be fresh out of fucks. So I was talking to, was it yesterday or either yesterday or the day before? I was at the ranch, at my ranch, speaking to Nick Long. Nick Long is an entrepreneur and a business coach, and he had 15 high-level entrepreneurs there. Several of them had sold a few of their companies for millions of dollars, and then they're just serial entrepreneurs. They started new ones. And they were all there like, hey, B, can you teach us how to start a personal brand? And I was like, well, yeah, I can. You got to start a YouTube show. You got to make sure you also do a podcast. You got to put out at least 1 episode a week. Consistently post every day on the social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts. And then at some point, you are going to write a book when you have a big enough audience, because authority figures, celebrities, typically also have a book in their space, in whatever space they're in. And the thing I kept hearing over and over again is like, yeah, but I feel like I'm an imposter. I feel like I'm not ready. I feel like I'm not the guy who can guide people. I'm like, dude, all of you are multimillionaires. Half of you have sold your businesses.
It's crazy.
I'm not asking you to teach on how to be a great football player or a ping pong player. You would feel like an imposter there. I'm asking you to teach what you know, right? So answer number 1 is develop mastery in something. Like, become so good at something. Like, I've developed mastery in entrepreneurism. Like, I know how to build businesses, scale them, sell them. So that's what I teach. I also know how to create self-mastery, because I was a shitbag in life. I was undisciplined. I was out of shape. I was emotionally reckless. And I've taken 10 years, worked with the therapist, read the books, done the courses, went to the seminars and workshops, and have overcome my trauma and become a more disciplined, organized, elevated, transcended human. So the 2 categories that I teach on my show is what? Entrepreneurism and self-mastery. And I have a calling for men. I have this soft spot in my heart for men who need support, help, and hope. So I speak to men specifically. It doesn't mean that it doesn't benefit women,
Sure.
right? And so whatever you have developed mastery in, you can actually teach. And the process, now, are people going to hate you and call? Yeah, just the other day, some long-haired goofball who has his own YouTube channel created a whole 14-minute episode on his channel bashing the Squire program and saying that me and Ray are taking fathers and sons. Which is actually pretty funny. He says me and Ray are taking fathers and sons, charging them $1,900, taking them to the back of a Walmart, and then making them run around for 12 hours, effectively abusing these kids, and then saying, you're now a man, right? He completely lied and twisted the facts of what the Squire program is. Like, there's literally videos, channels dedicated to hating me. Like 5 days ago, like, Ray sent me the text with the link. He's like, this guy. I'm like, Ray, fuck him. He's sitting on his mom's living room floor with the microphone and his unwashed hair and his fat jowls shitting on us. Like, That's fine. And everyone in the comments is like, yeah, these guys are stupid. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? I said, Ray, don't ever look at that video. Don't ever accept links from people who send you shit like that. And don't ever send me a link like that. Like Jesus, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, all have websites and YouTube channels dedicated to hating on them. And they were some of the most transformational humans on the planet. Why wouldn't you and I have haters? So if I'm going to wait where I'm going to be loved by everybody before I can launch my personal brand, that day will never come. I will die before I am loved by everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So just launch now. Imperfect action.
For sure. Yeah. Definitely don't get sucked into that, man. Especially if you can handle it. Like me and Andrew were laughing. Actually, a couple of comments are pretty funny, man. One of the clips of you and I, they went viral with the which one was it? The difference between a good man and nice guy.
Yes.
That one was going everywhere, right?
Yep.
And it's obviously you speaking, like you're the one in the video speaking the most part, and then it just cuts to me for a second, and then it goes back to you, right? And guy, someone was like, "Is that a baby with a beard?" And they just like, there's like a comment thread. They're roasting me, like the comments below, which is funny. But it's just like you just gotta laugh, man. Who cares?
Yeah.
Bro? Like it's not even a big deal. Who cares? So
is that
a
baby with a beard? You have a baby face.
Yeah, I guess so, dude. Yeah. So you gotta get that thick rhino skin, man, and just get over it. Just don't let it affect you. So we got William Sprague. Doesn't have a question, but he sent $10 for the super chat. So thank you, man, for donating to the cause. We appreciate it. We're gonna double that and get that donated. We appreciate you.
By the way, Robbie Blanchard, who donated $10. Hey, Robbie, can you drop your link if you're still watching this? So Robbie Blanchard is a former coaching client of mine. He created something called Commission Hero, or maybe it's Affiliate Hero. I don't make a penny from Robbie now, and I don't make a penny promoting this. He even says in this comment, he says, hey, I was in Bedros' mastermind way back in the day. Robbie sells a course, and if you follow his course, you can literally start making commissions from other people's products by promoting other people's products. He teaches you how to buy ads as an affiliate. So Robbie, if you're listening to this, if you can drop a link in the chat box to Commission Hero so that anyone who wants access to it, great. If not, Andrew, if you can do that, find Robbie's course and drop the link in there, I would appreciate it. And Robbie, you should pay me a shit ton of money for that. No, I'm kidding, don't, man. But if you want to donate to Shriners, I would appreciate that.
Solid. All right, we got Left Side Eddie donates. He says, signed up for MDK Project and Legacy Tribe last week in a BK Live. Nice. And then, what the heck, man, the comment, sorry, it disappeared. Sorry, guys. I don't know.
By the way, while you're doing that, real quick thing, guys. I know we sold out Bedros Keuilian Live 2023, which we did last week, like 8 weeks ahead of time. None of my events have sold out that early. We usually sell out 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the event. This one sold out 8 weeks before the event. And I know it's because my show's taken off. I'm really grateful and blessed for that, and it's because of you guys. So we looked for a bigger venue for next year, BK Live 2024. We have a date, we have a location. The location is in Scottsdale, Arizona. The date is September 13th and 14th, Scottsdale, Arizona, BK Live. Now, I want you guys to just mark those dates down, keep them clear on your calendar. You're obviously going to want to fly in on September 12th into Phoenix, Arizona. The event, BK Live 2024, will be 13th and 14th, and then you'll fly out on the 15th. Mark those dates because next week, when we open up registration for BK Live 2024, I wouldn't be surprised if like all the VIP seats and the platinum seats get sold out first. So mark those dates. You know that I'm going to be dropping that next week once we close off the Legacy Tribe registration here. We're just working on some final details for the BK Live event, and it's going to be a transformational, life-changing event. So that's the details for you, because I know a bunch of people have been telling me, like, hey, what are the dates for 2024?
Just waiting for it.
Yeah, how can I sign up for it? So the registration's not open yet, but it will be next week. We'll tease it, we'll open it, and then close it back down, and then reopen it in the future again once we can make sure that we have enough seats. Because I have a feeling we're going to have over 1,000 people in 2024.
It's going to be packed. It's going to be a great time, man. So don't wait. Don't sleep on that. Back to Left Side Eddie's question. He said, I signed up for MDK Project and Legacy Tribe last week in the BK Live. I'm 22. How do I figure out my passion? How do I find the thing I'd have a burning passion to pursue and grow? Yeah, that's a good question, man. First off, good for him for signing up for MDK and also Legacy Tribe. One of the best ways to find your passion, first off, if you're in your 20s, especially in your early 20s, show yourself a little grace in that
you're not going to just find it this early in life. Yeah. But if I go back to myself at 22 years old, I would be like, oh, there's a few things I had an excitement for, like a passion for. Cars, especially I like older classic muscle cars, right? Yep. Fitness, working out. I was a personal trainer. Now, as it turns out, I was like, oh, I wonder what my path is going to be. Well, it ended up being fitness, right? Personal training, coaching, and now I coach the world on all things mindset, business, and beyond. But for this young man, you're 22 years old. There are some passions that you already have. Maybe things that you like, hobbies. Could be music, could be cars, could be real estate. I had a coaching client do a half day yesterday. He goes, at the age of 11, I was just fascinated by the human body. I just kept reading anatomy books. And today, he's 48 years old, a year younger than me, and he does something called body talk. And by the way, he's like, because I think you met him yesterday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he goes, I can fix Leighton's shoulder. I'm like, oh, he's got a shoulder problem? He goes, well, he doesn't know it, but I can fix his shoulder. I was like, what the hell? So I don't know what he read about your body, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, well, you should tell him when the day ends. But of course, our half day went past 5 o'clock, so you guys were all gone. But the guy knew that he was passionate about the human body. Well, he had many paths. He could have been a doctor if he wanted to. He could have been a physical therapist. And he does this thing called body talk, which is to help identify pain and then realign the fascia, which is the thin tissue member that covers the muscle, realign that and break down the scar tissue to get rid of pain and put the body back into alignment. And he gets paid an obscene amount of money doing it. And so if there's things that you are excited and passionate about today, there are ways to make money in that industry if you become the best at it, right? Like if I decided that now I like collecting muscle cars, and so I don't necessarily want to go into business with it, but I might decide one day that I'm going to find muscle cars, buy them, and build them up, and then sell them, right? And I could make literally a career out of that. I can make a business out of that. So whatever you're passionate about, just be aware and go, all right, how can I make money about this thing that I'm excited for? It's a hobby, it's a thing, it's music, it's cars, it's haircuts. Even if you're like, hey, I like haircuts. Can I be a millionaire getting haircuts? Yeah, there's that kid named Vic Blend, right? Who goes
for real. Yeah.
He's rolling in dough, man. He just went around town with the camera guy and he was like, hey man, could I cut your hair? And they just put the fucking chair down and he starts clipping their hair and he's mic'd up and his camera guy's across the street. Yeah. And he's just talking to some young man whose hair he's cutting up and he's learning about his life, and then he posted on social media and people are like, dude, this guy's badass. Now Vic Blend decides to open up a chain of barbershops. Everyone's going to go there.
Game over.
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to go there. It's not even him cutting your hair. But so understand that even the most simplest thing you can make millions from if you become the best at it.
Right. Love it, man. Love it. Hannah Betterson. So shout out to Hannah because she's always at all the events. So shout out to you, Hannah. Thanks for your super chat. She says, what is your best advice for women who want to level up their lives and get plugged into a community?
Find your people. Find your people, Hannah. My best advice is go find your people. It could be a Spartan race. So if you're like, hey, I'm a woman who likes to run and do physically hard stuff, go to Spartan races, mud runs, CrossFit games, etc. If you're the type of person who's cerebral, there's book clubs to meet. In fact, my dear friend and doctor and coaching client, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, and Andy Frisilla's wife, Emily Frisilla, have a book club for women. Nice. So Gabrielle Lyon and Emily Frisilla have a book club for women. So if you're cerebral and you're like, hey, I want to meet other high-performing women who are reading books and then talking about it, find Emily Frisilla, find Gabrielle Lyon on Instagram, reach out to them and say, hey, I hear you've got a book club. Like, how do I join, right? And if you are one of those people where you're like, I can't find my tribe, then guess what that means? It is on you to build your tribe. Right. And so it is on you to build your tribe. And that might mean you taking to social media and saying, look, I want to create a tribe for women. There's another woman, Ricky Lynn. Ricky Lynn out of Texas. Her husband was in the military. And sadly, he took his life once he got out of the military. During the pandemic, she made it her mission to literally talk about the deconstruction of masculinity and how the government is corrupt. She is doing things that is typically what a man would do, right? But she's made it her mission. Like, my husband went to war and fought a war, came back and then killed himself. And I'm going to talk about some of the reasons why I believe my husband did this. He fought for a corrupt government. He felt that masculinity was being eroded. He didn't know how to handle it well, probably, I'm guessing. But she's made it her mission to empower other women. So she takes them out shooting, right? Group shooting experiences, jujitsu, etc. Like there, you can build a tribe anywhere. So go find the tribe. And if you can't find it, then it's on you to build that tribe. And I think that's a beautiful thing to do.
Awesome, man. I love it. Love it. The next one is from William Sprague. Again, he says, going through a very difficult time and your videos are helping to change my life in a positive way. Thanks for what you're doing.
Right on, man. Thank you, brother. Man. Appreciate it.
Then we got David Rhoda says, it's been 3 years that I've been a business owner. He puts in parentheses, father, husband, 3 kids. But the past year, I've been taking nonstop L's financially in the business. When do you suggest a business owner walk away or pivot?
Gosh, if you've been taking consistent L's for a long time, first thing I would tell them is before walking away, I would say, are there people in your industry making money doing what you're doing? If there are, maybe you got to go to them and say, hey, man, can you coach me? Can you guide me? Can you show me what you're doing that's working? Because I obviously am not doing it right. Odds are people in your industry are willing to help you. It's just as men, especially, we want to be an island. We're like a lone wolf. And so it's like, I'm going to figure it out on my own. Well, if you can't figure it out on your own, go ask someone, right? Like if I'm trying to box and I can't figure out how to box and I just don't get it, I'm going to come to you and like, Leighton, you know how to box. Can you maybe show me what I'm doing wrong? And you're like, bro, here's the 4 things you're doing wrong. Bam, I'm on my way. So if, on the other hand, there's no one in your industry, in other words, you're doing something that no one's ever done and it's not working, then it's probably time to pivot. Great example of that is many, many years ago, like over 12 years ago, when Craig Ballantyne and I were running a coaching program, somebody reached out to me and him, like a Facebook Messenger, and they said, I want to create a fitness program, an at-home fitness program, ironing your way fit. Basically, you would use the iron and the ironing board to get fit. He goes, there's nothing out there like this, right? This is a true story, bro. And me and Craig were like, this guy's joking. So like, hey, dude, are you for real about this? Like, you really want to do? He goes, yeah. Well, what if you burn yourself? Like, no. Well, you want to have the iron on. So you're not even getting the job done of ironing. So you're not even ironing your clothes. You're just going to use your iron and ironing board at home as resistance. Like, that's crazy. Don't do it. Don't launch. And then his response was, I had a feeling you guys would say that. Like, there's some ideas that are just stupid ideas, is what I'm trying to say.
I was hoping you were going to tell me he did it and he made $1 million.
No, that was just a stupid idea. He goes, there's nothing like this exists. It's like, well, it's obvious why, right? It's a stupid idea. It's a stupid idea. So if you have a stupid idea, sir, and no one's doing it, then and you've done it for 4 years and you're taking L's, time to move on.
For sure. All right, we got Joe and Alexander send a super chat. They said, I'm 52 with an autistic son who is my squire for sure. Masculinity is not a curse, and we need to get away from that. Thanks, Bedros, for all that you're doing.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And by the way, Father Michael, who was here, and we put him on as a YouTube exclusive show when I interviewed Father Michael, a Catholic priest. He said masculinity is a gift to men from God. Like the traits of masculinity is a gift to men from God. And so if you are damning your masculinity, if you are toning down your masculinity because the current feminist, corrupt government is attacking you, you are literally shunning God's gift, which I think is a massive no-no.
It's a powerful message, man.
Yeah. By the way, quick shout out to Aaron LeBauer.
I was going to do it. There we go.
Oh, were you? Okay. He says, I've worked with B for over 4 years. So Aaron is a physical therapist. He does cash-based physical therapy. And now he also coaches and consults physical therapists who want to grow their businesses. He worked with me with 4 years in my Domination Year coaching program, 10x'd his business, 7 figures every year now. And just one awesome human being. And he was there at BK Live last week. Great dude.
That was a great time, man.
And thank you for your donation, Aaron. That's really why I wanted to give you a shout out, is for the donation, because I'll double that and we'll give that to Shriners Children's Hospital.
There we go. Okay, you ready for this one?
Hit me.
You sure? All right. We got Jeremy Is he Tober? I think his last name is. He says, Uncle B, we need more stories about the gay bar days. So he wants some more stories. What you got for him?
All right. And he donated $1.99.
That's all we need. We're gonna double it.
All right. So here's a story. Oh God, I hope there's no kids listening to this. So Oz, the gay bar that I worked at, I talked to you guys about. I told you guys about the fact that it was a gay bar, and oftentimes many of the gay dudes who would come there would bring their straight girlfriends. So like when they worked at a place, at a job, they have straight girlfriends. And back then, I don't even know if I might just get canceled right now for saying this, but gay men call straight girls who like to hang out with gay men fag hags. It was a
That's
term.
like a legit term.
Yeah, fag hags, right? So if you're a fag hag, you're a straight woman who enjoys hanging out with gay men in their environment, right? Nothing really weird or sexual. They just love that. They love drag shows. They love all that, right? Fag hags, that's what they're called. So these gay dudes would bring, their fag hags with them to Oz, the gay bar. And so every now and again, I tell my friends, I'm like, hey, fellas, like there's a lot of single women who are beautiful at the bar, and all the men around them are gay. And so since I work security, I can let you guys in for free. If you can look past the fact that you're in a gay bar, you have a 100% chance of getting laid tonight, right?
It's a perfect plan.
Yeah. It's like fishing with a nuclear bomb.
Exactly.
Yeah. So every now and again, I'd let a handful of my friends into the bar, typically like on a Thursday night, where for some reason Thursday nights there were just more single straight women in the bar that these gay dudes would bring in. And my buddies would just go off. Like they would just. One time I walked into a back office room in the bar, which was only supposed to be for employees and not even for me, like the management.
Like, yo, snap.
And one of my buddies was just finishing up a woman. And they surprised me. I surprised them.
Oh, snap.
I closed the door and just went about face and left. And so that happened at good old Oz nightclub off of the 5 freeway in Buena Park.
That's
there you go.
Crazy.
Thanks for teeing that up, Jeremy.
We appreciate you, Jeremy. Thanks for that question. All right, so we have Leo sends a generous donation. We're going to double that. Thanks, Leo. Says, hello, Bedros, Legacy Tribe member here. I've been uploading content for over 3 years now. Had a successful streak, but now my content doesn't seem to be reaching that many people. Any advice?
Yes, don't worry about that. It's not reaching that many people. If you're uploading content, I'm guessing you're doing YouTube, you're doing Instagram, you're doing TikTok. Keep doing it. And what I want you to do, if you're doing YouTube, put more stuff on YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts gets way more visibility than the long form. So your short form will get found. And then what I want you guys to do, if you're uploading shorts, upload your short and then go and leave the first comment. And in the comment say, hey, if you want more great content like this, click here to follow me on my channel, and then put the link to your channel in the first comment, and then pin that comment in that YouTube short. And when you do that, if that short starts gaining traction, now people are going to be like, cool, man, because what the YouTube algorithm does currently is, I think Lauren can confirm this, but I think it shows the shorts 3 to 5 times more to more eyeballs than it does your long form. So you want to be found on the shorts, and then you want them to follow you because of your long form content or subscribe to your long form content. And then in terms of all the other platforms, if you go and look at your insights, you'll see which posts have popped off, have gotten traction, gotten shared, gotten more engagements. So you'll start seeing a common denominator in your winning posts. And to turn professional, you have to create a swipe file. And what a swipe file is a Google Doc of all of your winning posts. Could be videos, could be written posts, could be picture posts, episodes, long form episodes. But I've got a Google Doc of all of my winning posts. That way, if I want my stuff to continue to pop off, I'm going to go back to my winners and go, what did I talk about? What was the context? And create more stuff like that, increasing the chances of popping off again.
Here we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Good advice. Shout out to Off the Mat Podcast. Sent a super chat. They said, loved last weekend, B. Great speakers and lots of knowledge. Love from Canada. My
Thanks,
dude,
brother.
Josh, what's good, bro? Awesome, man. Dude, people really love BK Live, man. I'm telling you, next year's going to be insane. Like, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait.
Just to give you an idea, at all my events, for the last 13 years, at all my events, we have security at the door, like at the ballroom door. It's usually, well, not usually, it's always off-duty cops or SWAT guys that I know, or our friend Bruce Cardenas knows, and they're armed. They're just in regular clothes, and they're just watching over the audience because I don't want some crazy shit to happen at any one of my events where some nut job comes and starts shooting. Yeah. So there's armed security just watching over all of us. Joan was like, dude, I think you're going to need like security for yourself, not to protect you from anyone, but just to be able to take you from the ballroom to your elevator to go to your room. Yeah. I'm like, Joan, I don't need anyone. She's like, let's just get someone. So we got Joa and Bruce to just hang out with me. And while my goal was to shake hands and meet every single person, and I did, and take pictures with every single person, and so many of you guys brought books, from the Man Up book for me to sign. Bro, there was times where I was just like, I was literally about to piss my pants because I just couldn't even go pee because I couldn't move, right? Yeah. And so I was like, guys, I'm going to be right back. And then Bruce and Joa would have to just kind of usher me to the restroom,
part the Red Sea real quick. Like, yeah. Let's get through here real quick.
And so I was wrong. Joan was right. Where that's concerned, and what a great thing, man. And by the way, in 2024, mob me again. Let's take pictures. Let's make videos. Let's. I want to shake everyone's hand. I want to hear your story. But also, I also need to go pee and drink some water every now and again. So also show me some grace.
For sure. All right, Fuel Hunt. Shout out to Fuel Hunt, Joe. He says, Super Chat. He says, when does the shirt you're wearing drop on Fuel Hunt site?
Oh shit. Okay, this shirt.
Get the merch.
Okay, so just so you guys understand, this shirt drops, or may have already dropped. This shirt has already dropped. Average is the enemy. This is all U.S. made. So if you guys remember, there was the old Average is the enemy with the old logo. That was made in China. When I got on board with Fuel Hunt and took some equity in it, now I'm a business partner in it, I said, guys, are we gonna change all the shirts to American made? They said, yes, that's our goal, but it's gonna be expensive. I go, great, here's some money, right? And so all of the Fuel Hunt apparel now is American made, not just printed, the logo's printed in America. I'm talking dirt to shirt made in the USA. It literally only costs you $2 more than what it used to cost you. Quality shirt, Average is the enemy. I'm pretty sure it's on fuelhunt.com now. On August 7th, however, flip the switch. The BK line drops on Fuel Hunt for the first time ever. Flip the switch, because you guys all know what I say. Average is the enemy. Success is your responsibility. And of course, everything will change in your life for the better if you flip the switch, right? And so the Flip the Switch shirt drops August 7th, and a BK hat similar to one I'm wearing now. This is a demo version, but a BK hat with this BK logo and the eagle on the side drops October 7th. But this shirt should be available now, all U.S. made. Highly recommend you guys get it. And if you use my name, Bedros, you will get, it's either 15 or 20% off. So go get them, guys.
There we go. All right, Tony sends a super chat, says, I was defrauded by my last employer and have to start all over again financially. I'm 42 years old. I don't really feel motivated about any new businesses. Any advice?
Yeah, if you don't feel motivated about new businesses, go sell. Go learn to sell. Like if I were to lose everything right now and just knew the ability to sell, I would go and find a car dealership that sells premium vehicles, Mercedes, BMW, Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Ferrari, Lamborghinis, and I would just go sell cars. Salesmanship is the fastest way to making a ton of money, right? And if you're like, well, I don't know how to sell, there are YouTube videos dedicated to teaching you how to sell. There's Andy Elliott YouTube videos. There's Grant Cardone YouTube videos. There are Zig Ziglar YouTube videos. There's YouTube videos that are free that will teach you how to sell. The next thing you have to do is go and get the job by saying, look, man, just pay me commission only, and then teach me the strategy of selling cars. And by end of month, I'll be making 10, 12 grand easy. Within 3, 4, 5 months, I'll be bringing in 20 grand again. I'll be the best salesperson on the lot. So you got defrauded, it sucks. You lost your motivation, I'm sorry. And by the way, no man should be like, I'm not motivated. As a man, you cannot be not motivated. Motivation is internal. You should always be motivated. And in the absence of motivation, you should have discipline. And so just because you're not motivated to do it, you should be disciplined to go do it, because you have to be a shining example of a great man to the people who rely on you. And if you don't have anyone relying on you, find someone to rely on you. Go get a honey, Make sure your mom and dad give a shit about you. Like someone cares about you and relies on you, man. But you can't use not motivated as an excuse. We do that as children. As adults, we cannot be not motivated.
I agree. By the way, B, how you doing on time?
Good, man. I know we said we'd go for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Let's go a full hour.
Okay, for sure. All right. So right now we have 3 more super chats. I don't know if that'll take us again to the full hour, but just letting you know, guys, we're going to end the live at about 1 o'clock. So we appreciate the donations. We'll answer all the super chats coming in, but just letting you know kind of what we're looking on time-wise. All right, so Timothy Johnson sends a super chat. Says, hey, Bedros, 31-year-old male, veteran, ex-law enforcement. Any advice, for someone trying to change career field at my age with no experience? I'm currently enrolled in online school for cybersecurity.
First off, thank you for your service, both in the military and as a law enforcement officer. But same answer as I've told everyone else. Figure out what you're passionate about. When you guys do this whole thing where like, okay, who's making, what industries pay $100,000 a year? Oh, okay, cybersecurity does, accounting does. Bro, maybe you're not excited about cybersecurity. Right. Maybe you're not excited about accounting. That means you're only going to do it for the money for so long before you're like, I'm burnt out. I don't like this, right? And so figure out what you're passionate about and then get so good at that thing that like if I figured out that I'm passionate about protein shaker cups and I want to build the world's best protein shaker cup, I could get so excited about a shaker cup and make so much content about a shaker cup. Like for example, I might say like, okay, this one, the lid doesn't close, like it's really tight. I would want it to be loose where I could just flop it closed. This can't flop closed, right? Whatever. The point is, figure out what you're passionate about. And there's someone, like there's a ditch digger who's the world's best ditch digger. There's a lawn guy who's the world's best lawn guy. Both of those guys are making an obscene amount of money. In fact, there's a YouTube channel dedicated, it's a lawn guy. I don't know if you've seen him. He knocks on a door, right? He sets up his camera, he knocks on the door, the dude opens the door. He's like, hey, I see your lawn's a mess. Your lawn has overgrown onto the sidewalk. Can I cut it for free? And they're like, what? He's like, yeah, can I cut it for free? And they're like, yeah, sure. And so he just sets up cameras and he's doing a voiceover and he's like, so, hey, and you see all of a sudden the sidewalk appears and got a little hair going on here. And he cleans the whole place up. It's just a promotion for his lawn business. Right. I bet you the dude, again, if he started a lawn franchise, because I like watching his little videos of how he cleans up someone's lawn. And usually there's a story. The guy's like, yeah, I haven't mowed my lawn because I've got this prosthetic leg and it hurts and it's new. And so there's like a touching story. You could be passionate about anything. Obviously, this guy's passionate about lawn care, and he was able to make an obscene amount of money and create a whole YouTube channel dedicated to it. So figure out what you're passionate about, get so good at it that people will pay you a lot of money to watch you do it and to have you do it, and then go do that, my friend. And if cybersecurity is it, then do that, make your pivot. But don't feel like you only have to have one source of income. You can have multiple sources of income. So do cybersecurity and then maybe do something else on the side that you're excited about, even if you're just breaking even or even if you're just creating content because you love that thing. Soon you do it long enough, people go, can I pay you money to coach me, mentor me, or show me how you do it? And that is how a new business comes to life.
Right. What I noticed is the common denominator in a couple of these answers that you're like these advice that you're giving these people is that you make content for yourself, so you're building your personal brand, but really people fall in love with your content, your personality, like through your videos, and then at that point then you can build whatever business you want. It's That's literally it. You
said it. And by the way, I said this at BK Live the other day. The reason you guys are asking the same question over and over again is because everyone on here thinks that they're a unique snowflake. Like, oh, I'm different. I was a military and I was a cop, or I'm now 47 and I got defrauded by the company I worked for, or I'm 32 and my wife was cheating on me and divorced me and now I'm fucked. None of you are a unique snowflake. None of you are special. None of us are special. Like, everything could end for me today, and I will go out and create content on the things I'm passionate about and then go sell cars because I don't have a real estate license. Otherwise, I'd sell real estate. But if tomorrow I needed to make money, I can go sell a car tomorrow. And in the meantime, I'd use my iPhone to make content to create my second income stream. And it's as simple as that. It's when you think that you're unique, there's something like, okay, that applies to everybody else, but the advice Bedros gave doesn't apply to me. There's nothing unique about you. You're not a unique snowflake. The same thing applies. The same thing applies. So once you stop thinking that you're special, you realize that I can go make money by doing something I'm passionate about, by being the best at it in the world.
There we go. All right, Connor sends a super chat. He says, "Hey Bedros, I'm 20 and I struggle a lot with discipline. Do you recommend easing into discipline or flipping the switch on all things instantly?"
Well, considering I end every single one of my episodes with flip the switch, brother, I'm going to tell you to flip the switch. Why would you ease into something that you know is good for you, right? Like, I didn't ease into quitting alcohol. Like, November 12th last year, I was like, today's the day. I'm done. That was my last cocktail, right? I didn't go from like, I'm going to have 3 cocktails a month, down to 2 cocktails a month, down to 1 cocktail a month. I knew it was bad for me. I'm done. Flip the switch.
Exactly. Real quick on that note, I had a buddy in the past that he used to always do that when it came to drinking alcohol. He was always like, "Oh, I'm going to quit on the first, I'm going to quit." And he'd be drinking a beer while he's saying that. I'm like, "Bro, you're never going to quit, right?" Like, at first you're supportive, but you're like, "Bro, you're not going to quit." So anyways, he's like, "Well, it's Wednesday. It's like the 28th or whatever. On the first, I'm going to quit." And then Saturday is on the first. He's like, "Well, it's Saturday, bro. Like on May 1st, I'm going to do it." And he would never quit. So like literally what you said, man, you can't ease into it. You just got to cut clean and sever that head immediately.
Yeah.
Rook,
Hey, by the way, all of you guys watching and listening to this, if you guys can like this particular episode right now so that it can gain more traction, and once we're offline, I would really appreciate it. Leave some comments and stuff. If you're just watching, please also engage is what I'm asking. Like, that's the only fee that I'm asking for, is that you engage so that more eyeballs can see this and we can reach more hearts and minds.
100%. Rook, I think is how you pronounce his name, sends a super chat. It says, "I think too deep and overthink into many of my jobs because I'm concerned with quality. I feel it makes me inefficient. Any advice for overthinking? Thank you."
Yes, don't overthink. Like, truly, just stop it. I had a coaching client named Samantha Taylor. She said, "Hey, 1, I overthink too much, and 2, I try and launch my product or service. I don't launch it until it's perfect. What should I do?" And she was paying me $100,000 a year. I said, "Stop it. Stop overthinking, and then don't wait for perfect to launch. Just take imperfect action." So I'm telling our friend this too. Take imperfect action and then perfect as you go. Because if you're waiting for things to be perfect, if you're overthinking everything because what are people going to think? How's it going to look? This isn't quite ready. You are literally doing a disservice. There's people waiting to use your product or service, and they're crying themselves asleep, or their life is not as good without your product, and you are literally abusing them by waiting for that perfect product. So just launch. Do it.
There we go. All right, guys, so we have these last 2 super chats, and then we'll be ending the live, so we're going to finish these off. Storytime Rod says, "Bedros, can you go over how you outline your videos?"
Yes. All right, so let's do this real quick. By the way, who's this guy? Okay, Gerald said, "I flipped the switch, went from 0 exercise to 1,000 push-ups a week."
Damn.
How fucking cool is that? Good job, Jared.
The definition of flipping the switch for sure.
Now, all right, so let me tell you guys real quick how we outline this show. So first of all, I want you to, if you're going to create a YouTube show and a podcast, you have to have a core topic, right? So picture the sun. If you can picture the sun is this blazing hot inferno. What is the core thing in the sun? For me, it's self-mastery. What do I teach on the show? Self-mastery, right? That is the center of the sun. Then the sun has these rays that come off of it. Well, self-mastery, some of the rays that come off of self-mastery are making money, being fit, eating clean, focus, consistency, discipline, overcoming trauma, your relationships, emotional discipline, mental toughness. So if you picture a sun, what is the core thing that you want to talk about? For me, it's self-mastery. For someone else, it might be business. For someone else, it might be how to pick up chicks. For someone else, it might be how to buy homes with no money down, real estate, right? But in the real estate, if the sun is the real estate, the rays could be how to get creative financing, how to buy with cash, how to get seller financing, how to find apartments and negotiate deals. And so once you have created your core thing, mine being self-mastery, which is money, meaning, and self-mastery, then the rays of it being all the different topics that you're going to talk about. So let's say I take one topic. One of those topics might be overcoming traumas, right? That's a ray from self-mastery. So I would write that at the top of my notepad. When you guys see a notepad in front of me during the actual episodes of the BK show, it might say overcoming your trauma or overcoming your limiting beliefs. And once I do that, I will always start off with a story, right? Because people learn best from stories. So I'll always try and tap into a personal story of the time where a limiting belief or a trauma of mine limited my human experience. maybe in a relationship, maybe an opportunity to make more money, whatever it was, my trauma caused me to either self-sabotage, make less money, have a shittier relationship, or find a crazy chick to date when I was single and younger. And those are all true stories. So I tell that story because you want relatability, right? So I was like, hey, this is Bedros Keuilian. Today we're going to talk about limiting beliefs and trauma and how they limit your human experience. But first, let me kick it off with a story. When I was, 21 years old, I would date crazy chicks and I would wonder why I continue to have all this drama in my life and blah, 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 blah. And as it turns out, it was because I was molested by 2 older boys and I didn't feel loved and I didn't feel appreciated. I didn't feel valued. So I always went for lower quality humans, right? So you got to tell that story. And then you have to have bullet points under that. So I always write down, okay, tell my story of when I was, 21 years old. And underneath that, it'll be what happens if you continue on this path, right? So if you don't heal your trauma, these are the things. I'll write bullet points. You'll have limiting human experience. You'll always make less money. You'll never feel like you've found your purpose. You'll always feel anxious and depressed. And each of those bullet points are just reminders for me to kind of teach off of. Mm-hmm. And then after 3 or 4 bullet points of what happens if you continue down this path, it's, so what do we need to do to break through your limiting beliefs, to break the glass ceiling? Then I'll go into, hey, here's what worked for me. Therapy, reading these 3 or 4 books, doing hard things like these 6-week challenges that I do that help me realize that I could do anything I want physically. And if I could accomplish anything physically, then I could probably do it mentally and emotionally, relationally, financially. And so I give lessons on how to flip that switch, right? And then I end it with a call to action, right? So like in this last episode that we put up on Tuesday, I said, hey guys, let me know in the comments, what is the one thing you're going to do consistently to better yourself over the next 30 days? Mm-hmm. And everyone's leaving comments like, hey, I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to give up vape for 30 days. I'm going to stop drinking for 30 days. And the hope here is that you go, fuck it, I did it for 30 days. Exactly. I'll do it for the rest of my life, right? So once you know what your core competency is that you want to talk about, and it has to be something that you're good at, that you've mastered, and you're a walking, talking example of it. In other words, you can't talk about fitness if you're a fat fuck, right? And so with that in mind, you have to be a walking, talking example of the thing you want to talk about. Then the rays off that sun are all your different talking points that you're going to talk about over the years to come. And then, of course, now that you know what the outline looks like, I highly suggest you batch process. And so I will outline 2, 3, or 4 shows, and then we will literally shoot 2, 3, or 4 episodes back to back. Sometimes we'll do 2 episodes and a Q&A, mm-hmm. right? You and me, you'll come with like 5 or 6 questions and you'll fire off a question. I'll give the answer. It's usually somewhere between 8 and 10 minutes long for those. And those are ones we drop on Sundays. But the reason I batch process, I'll film 3 or 4 episodes in one sitting, is because you're in a flow state. Right? Like right now I'm in a flow state. If I left here and went on stage somewhere, dude, I could deliver the thunder because I'm in this flow state right now. And so you don't want to just do 1 show a week. You might as well do, 4 episodes every 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. When you go into studio, turn on your studio and whatever. And by the way, don't look for perfection. Don't try and set up a big studio like this. Just get a camera, get a ring light, put a nice little backdrop in the corner of your bedroom, and off you go. So you're going to batch process, you're going to have your talking points, and you're going to have a call to action and at the end of every episode so that you can tell people what to do next. It could be subscribe to the channel. It could be come to BK Live. It could be write down your thing in the comments, what you're going to do over the next 30 days. And once you've done that, you've got a prepared thing. And by the way, the other reason I like batch processing is if I'm going to go on, let's say, a 1-month vacation with the family, now you guys can edit and post episodes while I'm gone. I don't have to be like, uh-oh, I got to go do a show, exactly. Right? So feel free to batch process and you're in a flow state, and that also keeps you more efficient.
Solid.
Hopefully that helped.
For sure. I hope you all take notes, or if you didn't, then rewatch this episode and take notes, because he just gave you literally the blueprint to get 1 million subs. So there we go. Okay, so huge shout out to Cody Lozana, sends $100. We're going to double that and send it to Shriner. Says, Bedros, thank you so much for the 26.2 challenge.
Yeah.
I finished the San Francisco Marathon on July 23rd, and it's changed my life.
Right on, Cody. Dude, great job on doing that marathon. Thank you for the donation as well. We're going to double that and donate it to Shriners.
Awesome. And then last one, Tony sends a super chat, says, I was in the top 1% in the automotive sales and had applied for a job before asking, so I'm glad we're on the same page. Thanks, Bedros.
Hell yeah. Good for you. By the way, guys, all of you that are donating money and, with these super chats, I really appreciate you guys. Like I said, I'm going to double this and we're going to donate it to Shriners Children's Hospital. We see so many super chats coming in. Someone said, hey, no question, just wanted to thank you. Episode 1 changed my life, in the best shape of my life, and hit $10,000 a month in the agency. And it looks like this person's doing Andy's 75 hard. Shout out to Andy Frisilla. He's doing, is it Yves? Yves is doing Andy's 75 hard. He's in day 46. Keep going, bro. Finish all 75 days. That's awesome.
There we go. Awesome. So that's all of them. Oh, actually, hold on. There's one more. Sorry. It says, hello, Bedros. Just want to say thank you for what you're doing. Went to BK Live a week ago. Signed up for Legacy Tribe. Started my everyday gym, my discipline. Started to read your book.
Hell yeah.
People taking action. We love it.
And I know exactly who that is, man. Brother, it was great seeing you, and I'll see you on the Legacy Tribe. Guys, so there it is. Remember, September 13th and 14th of 2024 is Bedros Keuilian Live in Scottsdale, Arizona. And Legacy Tribe registration closes tonight at midnight Pacific time. You go to bedroskeuilian.com/Legacy Tribe, and you can sign up there. And with that said, I want to give you a big thank you from myself and Leighton. And always remember this, that average is the enemy. Success is your responsibility, and change can take place in an instant when you decide to flip the switch. We'll see you guys next time.